Okie dokie, let's go jump to rank games with a random character and see what we're going to get today. And it looks like we are starting off with the Reaper. We do start off with a Relic Case along with a Fanfare. So, what are we going to try to do today? So with the Fanfare, we can randomly get Empower, or we can get mana but also remove mana from your opponents, or just remove stamina from your opponents. So it's not the best early game weapon, since we don't have real use for mana and our opponent is not going to be using as much stamina at the very beginning. But getting that Empower could help us win a few rounds, if we're lucky enough. Let's take the Broom though, because we are going to need a weapon. Do we take the Rainbow Badge and go for a Chaos Run? Hell yeah we do. Let's take the Garlic, let's take the Stone, let's roll. And we could try to go for a Flame Up situation, which I wouldn't mind being down for. So I'm going to sell the Stone to go ahead and grab it. And this is going to be round 1. Now, this might not be the best round 1. We got a 1 weapon with a tiny bit of survivability with a Garlic. We are facing a super greedy Pyromancer. Now, they're going to have a lot of block, but they have no weapons. They're going to be offering up this leather armor into Offering Bowl to try and grab themselves an amulet. And with a Rainbow Badge, we did get 1 of every buff, helping us win out. But we might as well speed this up because this is just going to be a win for us, unless the fatigue does chip us down. But with our Vampirism, with a regen, our opponent is going to lose out. Definitely so. Now hey, we definitely need a second weapon. I will be taking this little short bow for a second weapon. We could take the Magic for Dummies if our Fanfare gives us some mana. We can get some max life stacking, so I'm going to be down for that. Let's roll one more time. Definitely want to grab a Burning Coal, but also really want to grab a Storage. We could also grab the Twine to maybe go for like something like a... Scissor Sword would be amazing to stack up blinds. We could also go for Dragonite, or we could go for a particularly large Greatsword, or even just a Jinx Staff. I think I want to craft up this Burning Coal, but let's grab our Storage too. We could also take the Forging Hammer, but I'm not as interested in it. Let's take our Twine too. Let's move on with this. It should be pretty good. Although we are facing double Brooms with 2 Pocket Sands on us already, which is going to be a lot of blind. We're going to have 80% accuracy with a 70% accuracy, and with our Rainbow Badge, we should be able to get that little bit of luck. Just 1 luck to help us win out, but that's a lot of health from those health pots. But we did get some power. We are stacking up our max life just a little bit. And yeah, it's going to give us the advantage. This Fanfare really paying off for us right now. And amazing. Now, should we go for some craziness with a Mana Mastery, or should we take Investment Opportunity to stack up some max life whenever you use a buff? Mana Mastery, we could go for a huge big mana buff bomb, or we could try to go for Powered Moon. Powered Moon into Moon Armor to inflict some extra blinds. We could try to go for that Scissor Sword, but it's going to be pretty difficult to go for Scissor Sword with a Rainbow Badge. It does mean we're going to have to find 2 godly items. It will mean we're probably going to have to find 2 godly items, being the Lightsaber and Fancy Rapier, which will be pretty darn tough. I kind of want to take Investment Opportunity. I'm going to take it for now. Let's grab our Storage. Let's go ahead and grab this wand. Let's add a Flame in. Let's roll again. And I'm going to take another Burning Coal. And with that, I'm going to venture on once again. I did want to take this because we can stack up some extra max life with a Magic for Dummies also. So I think that should be pretty darn decent if we do manage to get some mana. Which honestly, we haven't got mana within the first 6 seconds, so it's going to be a lot tougher for us. We didn't stack any max life, making us lose out. Now I want to keep our options available, so I'm going to take the Pocket Sand, I'm going to take the set of Blu-rays, piggyback on Sill, and going to roll again. That's a freaking Mana Orb. Now should we just go for Magic Staff? We don't have to go for Mana Orb. We could use our mana to stack up our max life with our Magic for Dummies. We could also try to get some Empower from it. Let's set our Piggy Bank. And maybe we actually want to do that. As mad as that sounds, I do want to take a little bit of Storage. But I think I'm going to venture on with this. Magic Staff would help us out quite a bit. Maybe we want to go for Magic Staff though, with Investment Opportunity. We could see what sort of crazy stuff we're going to get with our Rainbow Badge. It does make a lot of sense, but stacking up a power with our wands, stacking up our max life with our Magic for Dummies also seems pretty darn sweet too though. So I'm still thinking about holding on to it. Definitely so, because we got lots and lots of power. Increase our weapon damage by quite a bit also. I'm also stacking up our max life, but our opponent is also stacking up max life with 2 Magic for Dummies as well. And we do manage to win out. But I'm going to hold on to our Mana Orb. Now I'm going to take our Storage, and I will be taking this bag of stones. I'm going to continue to roll, and I'm contemplating on whether we want to craft up a Stir Sand. I kind of want to do it, but do we want to grab ourselves a fanny pack to speed up some of our items? I think I'm going to take it. And we'll be taking this garlic that is on sale also. Yeah, let's get going once again. I'm going to try to go for Cersei's sword. We might not end up going that way. I'm going to craft up a Sand, which will be inflicting some blind also. Helping us get to our buffs that little bit faster too. Well, just allowing us to get to our buffs without being smashed down immediately. But our opponents will have insane amounts of damage reduction with the Echo and Battle Cry and that helmet. They're going to have lots of vampirism and some skilling crits also. So it's looking pretty darn tough for us. Can we still win out? Because we're stacking up our power, but it might just not be enough because the sheer amount of vampirism they're going to have is going to be nuts. Now we have inflicted a lot of blinds, but it doesn't matter because they have infinite blind. Or luck, I mean. Now we'll definitely be taking the shiny shell. Shiny shell, we could also take the spell scroll. We could also take the previous got ice. I don't necessarily want any of them. Let's grab a storage. Let's also grab a little more blind for ourselves and let's roll again. Now staff fire. I think we settle on what we're going to go for. Staffire is probably what we're probably going to go for. Scissor Sword is going to be nice and all, but Staffire is just going to be a lot of damage. So I really do want to go for him. Because it's going to use up a lot of buffs, we can get a ton of heats. Yeah, we're definitely going to take him. So let's get moving once again. Definitely so. Staffire is probably going to be one of our win cons. It's going to use up a lot of buffs, it's going to have a lot of scaling damage, it's going to be going relatively nicely. Also, except our opponents is putting in a lot of work right now. And we do need to upgrade our weapons right now, or we're going to lose out. Definitely so. It's nice stacking up our buffs and our max life, but without any damage, we're going to still end up losing out. However, actually, was looking super close there for a second, but again, we still end up losing out. Let's grab you. Let's craft this up. Let's go to grab this treasure chest. What the hell am I doing? Strong Helper with 2 Chip Topaz. Now I'm going to sell our Sand because we're going to want to go fast. Definitely so. I'm going to continue to roll. That's a mana orb, which I'm going to be grabbing for sure. You might even want to get rid of our magic for dummies because we don't use our mana. So I'm thinking about selling it. I'm also thinking about selling you. This too, and you. And let's go and grab our mana orb. Now it really does want to sit it here for the best value we can get. We can also place it in this spot to move this to somewhere like this, and this is also looking pretty darn sweet also. But let's definitely get moving on once again. We should have a lot of mana generation. Our magic staff should be able to deal lots and lots of damage. Once we get our staff fire, we should be able to get some heats from our burning coals and use up a lot more buffs to deal more damage. The only problem is we need a ton more heats. We should be able to get a lot more damage with our magic staff, that's for sure. We are facing another opponent who is crafting up another big old bloodthorn. But hey, much better for ourselves. We get our life back, and now we do have a choice to make. The real question is, what do we go for? Now, the Cauldron will be kind of great because it can give us our heats, it gives us our mana, it gives us more heals. Maybe we want to go for him. We could also take the Nocturnal Locklifter. Now, this is going to be a bit of a weird choice because it's going to give us Vampirism. Vampirism doesn't work ranged, but we could get Lifesteal on our Staffire. And genuinely, I think I might take it. Lifestealing with a super fast Staffire to deal tons of damage seems like it could be a lot of fun. We could also take the Mr. Struggles to speed up our magic staff. That could also be great. Because once our health drops below 50% HP, we can trigger our staff to go even faster. We can potentially stack up heat infinitely. With our investment opportunity, we can stack up more max life. Could be great. Of course, Dagger doesn't make any sense. We're not going to be stacking any debuffs. And Snake could just give us our max life, but it will give us a bunch of luck. Actually, with our wands, it will give us Empower. Since we're going to start off with so much, but we need pets, that's the real problem. So starting off with wands, we could get lots of power. Now we could also craft up prismatic ones with Nocturnal Locklifter to get our lifesteal also. I think I'm going to take Nocturnal Locklifter as mad as that sounds. Now we also got crits too. We also got our eye lamp. We also got a mage's hat to start off with mana too. So some really fantastic options. Crits is going to be our number one option though. Definitely so, we could craft up the blue sage's collar, but never ever do I want to craft it up because the crits are going to be so much better for us. Now I'm also going to have to take this fanny back, but I really do want this eye lamp to the point where I'm almost going to sell something like a rainbow badge, but I want to keep an options open and available. But these burning coals are definitely going to be super important. So do we wait around? Do we want to take the mage's hat to get some more mana from the rip? I think we sell our garlic. We go ahead and take this. And we speed up this Starfire as much as possible because this is going to be our huge win con because it stacks up our max life. It gives us damage. It's everything we ever dreamed of and more. Then we're going to take our eye lamp in the next rounds. Now we could also grab the Hunger Blade, which I'm not as interested in Hunger Blade to be honest. But this Starfire is going to give us a lot of heals. And we want it to be attacking really, really fast to get that damage, to get that lifesteal. And should definitely be able to help us win out. But we do need to go as fast as possible. But right now it's looking pretty darn scary. We're stacking up a crit still. We should be able to deal some big old damage. Lifesteal like crazy too. And hell yeah, we got insane amounts of power, lots of max life, lots of mana. The only thing we do need is heat. And speaking of insane, that's a freaking prismatic orb that we can craft up into prismatic ones would help us stack up our heat also. But we do need 21 gold this round. I think I'm going to take it this round. I think it's going to be too important not to grab right now. Because it gives us mana off the rip. It's also going to help us stack up our heats just that little tiny bit faster. We definitely still need our eye lamp. We could grab the toad to stack up our luck and our mana to increase our crits. But I'm going to prioritize the eye lamp and I'm going to venture on once again. Definitely so. So we start off with 10 mana, so our ones is actually going to give us empower, which I'd rather get our luck. Definitely so we can scale up our crit. But it's going to be a lot of damage. It's going to be super fast damage also. It's going to be some lifesteal. And hell yes, look pretty good for us. The only problem is we do need heat generation. But once you get a prismatic wand in, it's going to give us one buff every 4 seconds. And the more we add in, the better it's going to be for us. And amazing. That's 142 crit by the way. Now since it's not a start of battle effects, the Econ Battle Cry is not going to be that great for us. Start of battle effect is just going to be our Vampirism. Don't necessarily want Garpur, will help us stack up Empower. Dark Ritual will inflict 20, that's not great for us either. I think it's either more stats, just for a little bit of max life and more damage, or taking a big old gamble. The other thing is the gamble is on silver too, I'm going to take it. Now full body protection, it's a bit of a yikes, to be honest, because I'm not going to be going for too much armor. But it could help us out, so I'm not going to complain. Let's take our eye lamp for now. Let's roll. We could go for flame up, we could go for cheese for more max life stanking. I think we grab this bit of storage. We could also grab this to cleanse and heal a little bit more, but I don't think I'm going to take it. Now the Casper Companion will use mana, but it will just give us 25% crits off the rip. And I do like it quite a bit. It'll also use up more buffs. Give us more max life stacking. I mean, how do I not take it? But I'm also going to continue to roll. Another eye lamp I'm going to be gladly taken. But let's also take this bit of storage and let's move on. Because our Starfire doesn't use up too much mana, I'm happy enough to add in our Casper Companion. Just starting off with that, a little bit of extra crits is going to be really, really nice. Does mean we don't have to scale up as much. It also stacks up our luck to scale up our crits even faster. And the more damage we deal, the more lifesteal we get. So it's going to be actually really fantastic. And so far, this Starfire putting in some crazy work for us. Definitely so, 122 crit, amazing. And we could have went for staff on healing as well. We could also grab ourselves a glowing crown for a little bit more heal and invulnerability. It also counts as a helmet. Let's take our storage. Let's take our eye lamp. Let's keep rolling. And we could take you, but it will be a bit dangerous because we will be inflicting a lot of blind. But again, it will be speeding up our Starfire as much as possible. I think they're going to settle on another fanny pack. Another fanny pack to speed it up even faster for ourselves. We'll place you in too. Should we take it? I mean, we could sell this. And our shiny shell to go ahead and grab it, which I'm kind of down for. And I really would love to sit it in here. I want to sit it in here because it will be speeding up both a prismatic wand along with our Starfire. I'm thinking about having our cat in this spot. We still get our crits, we get our mana orb, triggering on really nice items. We're going to speed this up insane fast for us. It should be relatively awesome. Yeah, I'm happy enough with this. Definitely so. So prismatic wand should be able to get faster and faster with a spell called Dark Frenzy. We should be able to get our buffs and holy moly, their opponent deal some insane damage to us. Literally bursts us down immediately. And speaking of insane, that is a bird to speed up everything. It's also another eye lamp for more heats off the get-go. I do really want the bird. I'm gonna place it in here. Definitely so. Eye lamp I also really want to grab, but I don't know how we're gonna fit it on our staff. Let's take this tiny little bit of storage. Yeah, I'm happy enough moving on to this. We have our bird in this position. It's not going to be hitting our cat, but it should be able to speed up everything else that we do want to be sped up. So this should be pretty darn sweet. Is it going to be good enough to win out? Maybe. We are facing a lightsaber, which might inflict our blinds. And we're going to be inflicting a lot of blind on ourselves. Now we have our bird to speed up everything too. And again, the faster we want our staff fire, the better. It just hits more often, we get our lifesteal more often, we get our damage. And hell yeah. Much, much better overall. Now that's just going to be more crits. I gotta take it. We're going to place this one down below in this spot. We're going to roll again. We do get our boots, which I'm going to have to take along with our stamina sec. And we probably do want to grab this corrupted helmet. But yeah, I'm going to keep our options open for another little bit. Because we do need to find ourselves the helmet, that armor. We got our boots. We could be crafting them up, but I want to find those armor relatively fast so we can take that less damage so our staff fire can build up that damage and just deal insane amounts of damage. And we should have easier time getting our crits and amazing. Definitely so. Let's grab our storage. Let's grab our flame. Let's keep rolling. I'm very, very tempted to grab both the piggy bank along with this too. But I'm going to keep going. That's our armor. That's exactly what we want. And I'm going to take this tiny bit of storage to place this in up top too. But let's keep rolling. And one more time. Now you being on sale I would gladly take, but let's get going once again. And we still want to relic case though on to our staff fire because that scales up our damage just a little bit more. We are facing a hammer dagger action. With lots of luck, they're going to be attacking through our armor. And we could be in huge trouble. And when I say huge trouble, I mean they're going to hammer smash us really darn fast. Well, let's take our corrupted crystal. That's another freaking spell scroll dark frenzy. Can we take it? I don't think we can. Let's take our little bit more storage. Let's keep rolling. That's our helmet. That's everything I ever dreamed of and more. And then we can also craft up our cap discomforts. We can also get more mana from our Encyclopedia Darkness, which I'm not have any interest in it, and let's get going. So now with our full body protection online, we should be able to take a lot less damage. Definitely so. So we should be able to stay super healthy, we should be able to scale up our damage relatively awesomely. And yeah, we should be able to scale up our max life too. So the lifestealing staff of fire, he's actually looking kind of insane. Definitely so. But in terms of DPS, we only managed about a 45 DPS, being our staff fire being 33 DPS, even though we do have it going about a 1 second cooldown with 66% crit chance. My opponent did have a 20 DPS, but we had lots and lots of damage reduction. In terms of heals, we only had 11 healing per second, being our Nocturnal Locklifter, so it hasn't been providing too much heals. Definitely expect a lot more, but it is only 25%, but 33% on hit lifesteal. In terms of block, about 114 block. So overall, we probably should take our points and run. But we did get ourselves in our freaking prismatic orb, and I'm going to be taking that instantly. And we'll be crafting up another prismatic wand. Let's take our extra flames. Let's roll again. Let's keep rolling. And let's keep rolling. I can't add in our strong help, it kind of needs to not be in. But let's get going once again. Once we get our second prismatic wand in though, we should be in a pretty good spot because it will help us get our heat that a little bit faster. It'll help us get our buffs as well. And it will keep us getting that extra bit of lifesteal with a Nocturnal Locklifter. Because every hit is healing us for about 51 heals, 62 health, 74 health, and is still increasing because we scale up our damage. It should be pretty good. Definitely so. And that's a 202 crit. Now, that is another freaking prismatic orb. Do we want to take another one? Hell yeah, I do. We could also craft up Paradise Burb. Maybe we should craft up that Paradise Burb. Let's take the Dark Frenzy. Let's sell our Helpa. We could also take the Cupcake. And try to get our heat stacked up. But it's probably not going to be your heat. I'm going to take it for now, but I'm going to roll once more. And I do want to grab... Okay, another wand. I'm going to be selling this immediately. Let's sell you two. Let's go and grab this. Let's also go ahead and sell our Twine so we can go ahead and grab this fanny pack. 2. The only problem is this scroll is in a fantastic spot the way it is. Are we willing to sacrifice this Dark Frenzy? I'm not sure if I am, but we will be able to get a lot more lifesteal from a Nocturnal Locklifter. But I just think speeding up our whole situation is just going to be so incredibly awesome for us. Definitely so. So what it does mean is I'm going to take our Prismatic Orb away from Nocturnal Locklifter. And I'm going to have it in this spot to craft up another Prismatic ones. Because I do value this Dark Frenzy quite a bit. We are facing 2 Paradise Burbs with a Holy Spear, with a Darksaber Serpent Staff. They're going to be inflicting a lot of debuffs on us. But we'll see if we're going to be able to survive it. Because we get incredible damage. Now they do get invulnerability for such a long time, stopping us from lifestealing, which could be a huge issue. Definitely so, but we're starting to deal some big old damage. And yeah, it's not going to be close whatsoever. 253 crit, even with 19 blind, 43 poison on us. Amazing. Now this is where I'd also love our gloves to target our staff fire to speed up even more. But I think we just have to ignore it for now. We could also grab that sword for now, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Let's grab a little bit of storage. Let's keep rolling. Another bird to speed up everything again. I actually really want to take. I really want to take another place in this spot. Or maybe this spot. And we could sell our badge for now too. Let's roll one more time. And let's roll one final time. And this rainbow badge has been a ton of fun, but I'm going to sell it. And this is going to be our final setup. Is this Lifestealing Staff of Fire going to help us win out? We'll have to see. Adding Inner Toad will help scale up our crits just that little bit faster, will keep us getting our mana. The issue is our heat, but if we speed up our prismatic ones as much as possible, we should be able to get those buffs relatively fast as well. So let's go and see if this is going to be good enough. Is it going to be able to win out? We'll see. We are facing a strange, definitely strange builds, being a chessboard Jinx Staff type situation. With a Cupcake Staff, they're going to be getting crazy buffs, they're going to be going super fast, and yeah, they're going to have 105% damage reduction, 140, holy moly, they're going to take no damage. Our staff is going to be dealing very little damage, we're not going to be getting any lifesteal, they've taken all their stamina, so we can't even hit, and definitely kind of an insane type situation. Now, their damage reduction has ended, and now we're starting to deal some big old damage, and this staff fire is putting in some crazy work for us, and I don't think it's going to be close once the damage reduction has gone down, because that staff fire is dealing insane damage and amazing. But hey, we did end up with a 77 DPS, dealing almost 1000 damage, even though our opponent did have 140% damage reduction for such a long freaking time. In terms of heals, about 30 healing per second, not as crazy as I thought it was going to be, but again, this is designed for melee weapons, not ranged weapons, so that lifesteal, maybe not too crazy. But the idea behind it was trying to get that a little bit more time so our staff fire can stack up that damage and get that increased speed, that's for sure. Now in terms of block, we did manage about 169 block, which is not good whatsoever, and so we managed to gain 144 max life from our investment opportunity. But hey, we did end up with 2 lives left. How much rank points are we going to get from this crazy staff fire build? 94. Not too bad. Almost ranking us back up to Masters once again. But I'm going to have to leave it here for now. I just want to say thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even subscribing. And I hope to keep a lookout for the next one. I'll see you next time. Now back in some round 18 fights, and we're going to see how the staff fire can hold up to other builds. Because we are facing a Excalibur with a Thornbloom. They're going to be trying to get a ton of max life potentially. Actually, they're going to be stacking up spikes. I thought they were going to be going for power, but again, the staff fire just deals so much damage. Now, can we deal with a Moon Armor Thornbloom situation? They're going to be trying to get some Empower. They're going to be stacking up mana so their prismatic ones can give them that Empower, which turns into max life. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be close whatsoever, because we just have some insane amounts of damage. We've got lots of damage reduction, and actually they got crazy amounts of life, but that's a 322 crit and amazing. Did you see how fast it was going there towards the end? It was kind of insane. And finally, can we deal with this meta Berserker build? The cheese. How many mana orbs do they have? Crazy amounts, especially with the Arm of Energy. They're going to be getting mana buffs for days. They actually have 6 mana orbs. Yeah, that's insane. They're going to be getting lots of buffs. They're going to be getting insane amounts of buffs. They're going to be triggering multiple mana orbs. But is it really going to be enough to win out? We'll see, because we're dealing some insane amounts of damage. And hell yeah, not too bad.